There are moments when the sky seems to speak, not in thunder, but in whispers. And this is one of those moments. The black moon rises again on October 8th, cloaked in the silence of shadow, an invisible portal between endings and beginnings. As the sun and moon align in secret conversation, a pulse moves through the fabric of reality, unseen but unmistakably felt. Beneath this alignment, Neptune's shadow wave begins to stir, dissolving illusions, bending timelines, drawing souls back to their truest frequency. It is the return of remembrance, the great mirror of the unseen self. This is not an ordinary lunation. It is a spiritual eclipse without light, a hidden oracle written in the dark waters of the cosmos. You are not just witnessing it, you are inside it. The question is what part of you will awaken when the sky goes black before a tide lifts. It withdraws. You may feel it now, the hush before the hymn, the shadow drawing breath. The black moon lowers the room tone of reality, and your frequency dips like an anchor into deep water. This isn't collapse, it's calibration. The void is a tuning fork. Your field is sinking to a quieter drum, a secret Schumann rhythm that lives between Earth's core and your own heartbeat. When you feel tired, detached, off-grid, know this. The silence is the stairway. Your body knows before your mind does. The headaches, the chills, the sudden heat in the spine, they aren't random. You are a living antenna. Under this lunar seal, the pineal hums like a distant engine, releasing tiny electromagnetic flares, your inner compass turning toward portal north. The tremor under your skin isn't anxiety, it's ignition. The spark has already been struck. This moon does not simply darken. It inverts, hidden light folding back on itself, turning veils into windows. What you buried for safety rises now as new strength. The polarity flips, shadow becomes signal. You'll feel it in dreams, an ancestral ping. Packets of memories sliding open like old drawers. Déjà vu won't just visit, it will instruct. You have walked this corridor before, but now you can choose the door. As polarity changes, the mirror field fractures. The old reflections, people, patterns, contracts shiver and fall away. Ghosting, distance, quiet endings, these are not rejections. They are karmic ledgers closing, simulation shards dissolving. You are stepping out of their echo chamber and into your own remembrance. When lunar perigee kisses the field, the nerves sing. A lightquake ripples through the grid, tingles at the fingertips. Heart flutters. Micro-lightning in the palms. Breathe. Your bioelectric body is rewiring for the photonic wave arriving with October 8th. Even sound changes. Silence grows heavy, like a velvet bell. Prophets called it the voice between worlds. Listen there. The veil thins in the quiet. Timelines overlap like transparent maps. Triggers replay, not to punish but to present new coordinates. Each déjà vu is your higher self, whispering, choose differently. Around 3 When the field dips, you may feel a gentle drum in the chest. That is the heart grid expanding, sinking to Gaia's auric pulse. Rebirth through resonance, not resistance. And the tremor that is your soul signing the permission slip. Awakening does not force, it invites. You can numb, or you can breathe, ground and step. The door is open, a soft oracle in the dark. Walk through. The black moon is not an empty sky. It is the pause between breaths where source slips a new line of code into your story. In that stillness, the old hum flickers, and what you thought was, you begins to loosen. Expired contracts, identities that once protected you, patterns that kept you small, they lift like mist. They are not enemies. They are shadow garments returning to the sea. In this cycle of 2025, the moon meets a solar node reversal, and the collective ledger opens the 2012 Remembrance revisited. Karma codes audited and reset. Think of it as an elegant reboot, memory fragments refiled. Soul archives re-indexed by a higher librarian who knows exactly where your next chapter begins. So if people are drifting from your orbit, bless them as echoes. Portals closing cleanly. No debris. No blame, just the gravity of destiny turning the page. This moon is a destiny clock. Your higher self is the quiet hand choosing what continues and what collapses. There is a moment where you may feel lost, like walking through a map that redraws itself with every step. That sensation is sacred. It means the old coordinates can no longer contain your awakening. For many, money and emotion move together now, bank accounts and heart tides rising or receding in tandem because both mirror self-worth frequency. When you raise the worth, the world reorganizes. And yes, time will wobble, loops, glitches, déjà vu stacking like translucent pages. Linear time cannot bear the weight of a reset field. It bends to let your future enter the room early. The wise ones don't chase clarity inside a solar-lunar rewrite. They anchor neutrality, the silent storm eye where new patterns seed themselves. Neutrality is not numb. It is spacious faith. It is the calm hand over the heart while the nervous system receives its ignition sparks, the restless nights. The tingles in the palms, the sudden waves of exhaustion followed by clean surges of power. These are not symptoms to fear, they are signatures of installment, your bioelectric grid accepting an upgrade. Breathe like you are being rewritten because you are. Stand at the threshold and let the oracles speak through your quiet. The map will arrive as you walk. The clock will strike when you're ready. And the door, already opening, will know your name. 8 is the serpent of infinity, looping back to kiss its own tail, cycles within cycles, the breath that returns to itself. 10 is the threshold, an end that is also a door, a beginning with the scent of ashes and new rain. Together they write a rebirth code across the night, and the black moon reads it aloud in a voice only the listening can hear. October carries the underworld metals of Pluto and the iron drum of Mars' death and transformation moving as one current, the phoenix folding its wings over the portal before it rises. On the 8th of October, the numerology arranges itself like stars on a quiet altar. 8-10-2025 becomes 819, a trinity of eternity, or creation and closure. A subtle key turning the lock inside your chest. Under this seal, latent DNA awakens threads of remembrance and the soft lightning of telepathic empathy. You will feel others before they speak. You will hear yourself before a thought is born. The figure 8 mirrors 2 circles, heaven and earth leaning toward each other, masculine and feminine meeting at the still point where polarity becomes prayer. In that zero-pressure center, the shadow is not an enemy. It is a guide with soot on its hands. Pointing you home, the moon's dark silk aligns with the galactic center field, and your Akashic bandwidth widens like a river after snow melt. Time slips hours, missing like stones in a path. Lucid dreams stretching across dawn, déjà vu inside déjà vu. A mirror reflecting a mirror until only the witness remains. Do not chase it. The cipher opens through silence, not effort. Intention spoken into the hush amplifies tenfold. On October 8th, set no resolutions, set vibrations. Whisper, I am ready for my infinite loop to close. Let the loop seal what is learned and release what is done. If restlessness visits, let it rattle the old hinges. If tingles move through the palms and spine, receive them as ignition sparks. If exhaustion folds you inward, curl there like a seed. The number code is not unlocking the future, it is unlocking you. So the future can find its rightful shape through your awakening. Breathe like a bell. Stand in the soft storm. The oracle is already speaking from the dark that blessed you into light. Listen to the fine ringing tucked behind your day, the thread of sound that seems to come from nowhere. That is frequency tuning, your inner strings tightening to match a higher note. Solar plasma arrives coded with lunar light, and your body-wise vessel, ancient instrument, begins to retune. If sleep breaks like thin ice, if you drift awake at strange hours, know that your consciousness is crossing borders. Dream time becomes a training ground where the portal teaches you without words. You return with echoes, a face you knew before you were born, a path unfolding in the dark. Déjà vu multiplies because timelines brush shoulders. You are walking parallel versions of yourself, touching hands across the glass. And when your ancestors enter the room at night smelling of cedar, rain, old prayers, it is not fantasy. Their codes are reactivating through your blood. Healing travels backward, stitching shut old openings so you can step forward clean. You may crave silence, water, solitude. Answer that call. Your nervous system is filtering photonic density. It needs stillness and flow to process the remembrance. A new awareness rises at your back like a moon over water. The feeling of being watched is not paranoia. It is your field widening beyond the visible, sensing life that lives between breaths. Random surges of gratitude. Sudden wells of grief, these are light body surges. Ancient memory clearing like thunder rolling away. Let it move. Let it bless what it touches. Electronics may flicker. Screens freeze. Signals skip. Your electromagnetic field is expanding, and technology bows for a moment to the greater current. Notice the animals. A dog grows calm at your feet. A bird waits longer on the branch. An insect hovers in a silver pause. They feel your elevation and mirror it back, calm for calm. Chaos for chaos, so that you can see your own sky. These are not symptoms. They are signatures of alignment, the quiet proof that your vessel remembers its original calibration. In the hush of this shadow moon, the ignition sparks are small and holy, a ring in the ear, a shiver in the palm, a tear you didn't expect. Breathe. You are being tuned to your awakening. The oracle is near, and your name is already on its page. Begin with breath, the oldest key. Inhale like you are gathering light from 1,000 horizons. Exhale like you are laying down a new foundation. Your breath is a command code, each slow release sending a message to the body. Ground the incoming frequency. Anchor the portal within. When the field feels loud, go to the water. Salt remembers. A bath, the ocean, or even your feet soaking in warm. Salted bowls, within minutes your bioelectric tide resets. The static clears, and your cells hum closer to home. At night, let screens go dark before you do. Fasting from technology is not deprivation. It is devotion to your crystalline sight. The pineal needs quiet to polish itself back to a lens. Sleep in darkness, true darkness, so that lunar plasma can recalibrate melatonin and dream coding. The scroll opens more easily when the room is night black and your heartbeat is the only metronome. Touch the earth within 24 hours of the black moon, barefoot. Simple as childhood. Gaia will take the residue through your souls and return steadiness through your bones. Speak less than you think. Silence is a shield. It thickens the auric membrane so the winds pass around you, not through you. When you do speak, let words be medicine few, slow, true. Feed yourself with light that the sun has already woven into matter, fruit that still carries morning on its skin. Greens that hold chlorophyll like bottled dawn. A ribbon of honey that tastes like summer archives. Let nourishment be photons wearing the mask of food. Guard the crown as you sleep. Lay silver or selenite near the bed minerals that mirror the moon's charge, refracting stray noise, keeping your remembrance clear. When emotional weather rolls in, do not cork the storm. Move it. Dance until the floor remembers your name. Breathe until the chest opens like a window in rain. Sound until the room rings clean. Release does not break you. It baptizes the signal. To anchor this shadow season, you do not fight the winds, you become the still eye within them. A quiet center, a soft gravity. From that center, the awakening does what it came to do. It writes a new rhythm through your body, a lunar seal on your timeline, and a calm, bright knowing that you were born for this night. Every shadow contract began as a shelter, an old promise signed with trembling hands. I will shrink to survive. Under the black moon, those papers turn translucent. Lunar truth moves like clear water through the fibers, loosening the ink, dissolving what was written in fear. Scarcity patterns rise from ancestral vows, poverty as camouflage, smallness as safety. Tonight, the vault opens, not with noise but with remembrance. Wealth codes don't answer force, they answer forgiveness. When you bless the lineage that taught you to hide, the door hears it and swings. Shame is power turned inward, a river dammed behind the ribs. Where you hide is where your magic is buried. The portal doesn't demand confession. It invites integration. You may feel the old agreement whispering, I'll stay small so others stay comfortable. Break it softly. Break it like morning breaks inevitable. Compassionate. Complete. Write the vow on paper if you must. Fire is honest. When the page curls and blackens, the body understands what leaves in smoke also leaves in cells. Burnt ink, burnt imprint. Ritual mirrors, chemistry. The altar echoes the mitochondria. You do not release shadow by hating it. You sit with it until its teeth unhook and its eyes remember they were lamps. The darker the emotion, the older the memory it guards. Approach like one entering a temple, not a war. In relationships, echoes from other lives may ring familiar urgency, unreasonable ache. Choose discernment over blame. Ask what ledger is presenting itself for closure. The moon forgives what the sun cannot explain. Solar logic tallies. Lunar energy cleanses. Under this shadow tide, karmic residue lifts from the emotional body like ash from clear water. If restlessness shakes you, let it be the ignition spark. If exhaustion folds you, let it be the cocoon. This is not loss. It is retrieval. When you release the shadow, you do not become less, you become whole. The part you feared was poison returns as medicine, purified by attention. Breathe as the contract unsigns itself, as the old seal melts and the new one stamps your sternum with quiet gold. Feel the subtle click of the lock from the inside. The ledger closes. The night exhales, and in the soft ringing afterward, your awakening names you not guilty, not broken, but returned. The mirror shows truth. The mask shows projection. Feel the frequency, not the face. Under the black moon, the veil grows thin and the current grows honest. What used to hide inside polite words begins to hum at the edge of the body, and you sense it before it becomes language. Mirrors arrive as people, as moments, as quiet shocks. They trigger discomfort because that is how your higher self speaks through others, tuning forks meeting, striking the old chord so you can hear it clearly. Masks, by contrast, soothe the surface while draining the core. They thrive on your agreement to keep pretending. Tonight, that agreement loosens. Emotional transparency amplifies. Motives rise like ink in water, and you can finally read what was always there. This is where heart rewiring begins, empathy braided with discernment, love without blindness, compassion that does not abandon clarity. You may feel yourself outgrowing old circles, and the ache of it can feel like betrayal. It isn't. It's bandwidth. Your field is widening. Theirs may not be ready to stretch. Bless the difference and keep walking. Some mirrors will arrive as conflict teachers in rough cloth. Thank them, then step away with clean hands. Watch your reactions like astronomers watch comets. The ones you judge most fiercely are often reflecting unintegrated potential. Gifts you have not yet allowed yourself to wear. Solitude becomes the strongest mirror, a portal of silence where every mask you ever tried on returns to the rack. In that hush, you remember how the face looks when it carries no performance, only breath, only pulse, only remembrance. Under lunar voltage, authenticity becomes magnetic. It calls your tribe the way a lighthouse calls ships, no argument, just light. Masks repel that signal. They distort it, scatter it, make the beacon flicker. Choose resonance over role play. Choose the frequency that makes your skin ring and your spine stand taller, even if your voice trembles at first. If restlessness rises, let it be an ignition spark. If tingles rush the palms, if exhaustion asks you to lie down, let the shadow teach you from its ocean floor. The moment you stop acting and start sounding like yourself, the field rearranges. Doors that were painted on the wall become real, and the tribe, already nearby, recognizes the tone. They don't need proof. They hear the frequency. They feel the awakening, and they answer. Fear's echo may sound larger in this season, but listen closely. It is brief thunder rolling away. Love's whisper, almost shy, moves farther than sound, seeding the air with continuity. Every thought you host is a vote for a timeline. Each emotion is a signature on a cosmic ballot. What are you electing with your feeling? Right now, in this breath, the threshold is not a doorway you can touch. It is a 0-point energetic neutrality where reaction dissolves and creation begins. Stand there, count 3 heartbeats. Let the old charge unwind. You don't enter a new timeline like stepping over a line, you vibrate into it. Your field chooses first, your life follows. Collective fear will try to feed on your attention, a parasite seeking your gaze. Starve it by embodying calm, not performance calm, but bone-deep quiet. Drink water as if you're filling a temple bowl. Tell the truth gently to yourself. Name 3 things you're grateful for, as if you were lighting lanterns in a storm. These quiet choices are ignition sparks. They tilt the world by degrees. This is 2025, a bifurcation year. 2 lattices humming side by side, the survival grid and the ascension grid. Both are true, both are present. You select by frequency. Fear's timeline repeats, like a looped film with new costumes. Love's timeline evolves, unscripted, alive. Which one feels like home in your ribs? Which one expands your breath when you whisper its name? The black moon marks the moment where destiny stops being a rumor and becomes conscious co-creation. Under this shadow seal, neutrality is your compass, discernment your oar, compassion your wind. When triggers rise, meet them at the 0 point. Let the surge pass through without building a story. When exhaustion folds you, rest as a sacrament. When tingles race the spine, receive them as circuitry awakening. Remember, you are not chasing light. You are remembering remembrance itself. Feed the radiant choice daily. 1 glass of water, 1 honest sentence, 1 hand over the heart, 1 breath that chooses life. The field notices. Reality reconfigures quietly, like dawn entering a room through the smallest seam in the curtain, and faster than you expect. The awakening you thought was far away is simply your own voice. speaking from the future, saying, yes, this way. Keep glowing. Rituals are micro-portals. Small doors you open with presence. Keep them simple. Let them breathe. When you write intention by hand, ink pulls the ether down into matter, a lunar seal pressed onto paper so the invisible can hold a shape. Breathe in a quiet pattern, 4 counts to invite the new frequency, 8 counts to integrate, 4 counts to let the old release, 4, 8 to 4. The nervous system learns your calm and mirrors it back. Set a glass of water beneath the night. Let the black moon whisper through it. Moon-charged water stores photonic memory. When you drink, it realigns your inner tides, the body remembering how to listen to the sky. Speak one truth you have hidden, even if it is only to the dark. Vibration frees what language once trapped. You can burn bay leaf or sage, not to banish but to reprogram the air smoke as code. Fragrance as key. Let the room learn your new frequency. If sound calls you, listen to 432 or 528, a tuning that brings your field into chord with Earth's heart. Do not overthink it. Let the tones wash the edges until your aura turns to velvet. Light a candle and whisper your name 3 times. Deliberate and slow. This is not theater. It is recall. It gathers your spirit fully back into the body, draws the scattered sparks home so your remembrance can sit at the center again. Offer gratitude before you ask. The universe answers vibration, not grammar. A single breath of thanks carries farther than a list made in fear. Keep ritual minimal, not mystical. The strength is your presence, not performance. If restlessness comes, feel it as ignition. If tingles move through the hands, let them write light into the air. If exhaustion folds you, become the still bowl that catches the rain. Under this shadow moon, your life does not need spectacle, it needs sincerity. A page, a flame, a sip of charged water, a truth spoken aloud. These are enough to open the door already waiting in your chest. Step through softly. Let the ancient oracle inside your breath read your secret back to you. And with every quiet act, feel the awakening take root, subtle, certain, sovereign until your timeline flowers in the dark like a promise kept. Every awakening begins as a choice, not a miracle. The sky can gather its signs. The black moon can lower a velvet stairway, but it is your whisper that starts the climb. Portals don't open to impress. They open to invite. They lean close like a friend in candlelight and ask the quiet question, will you come? Doubt waits at the threshold like the final guardian. Not to deny you, but to make sure you mean it. Do not bargain for proof. Breathe and step. Faith is the password that sounds like your own name. When you speak truth aloud, watch how the room changes. Your cells rearrange around that vibration, atoms rethreading a new pattern as if destiny were beadwork, and your voice the string. The higher path does not promise ease, it promises alignment. Alignment turns chaos into choreography, pain into information, delay into a wise red light that keeps you safe. Coincidence is only synchronization you didn't claim. Tonight, claim it. See the numbers, the feathers, the sudden call as a choreography laid out just ahead of your feet. The door is symbolic, yes, but symbols are technology. The door is your frequency gateway, the precise hum that lets your life recognize you. Many will sleep through it. This is not failure, it is timing. Those who are ready feel the hum in their bones, a low river note under the ribs, the subtle electricity at the fingertips, the tug behind the heart, restlessness, tingles, waves of exhaustion. A clear surge after these are alignment signatures, not errors. Receive them like weather moving through a holy field. To step across is to leave explanation behind and enter embodiment. You stop describing the fire and begin to carry it. You stop narrating the river and finally drink. The mind will ask for guarantees. Offer it breath instead. Place a hand over the sternum, where the remembrance lives like a small sun. In the hush. Say it soft. Certain, sovereign, I choose now. Feel the click inside the lock, the ledger turning to a blank page, the silent storm settling into a bright, centered calm, and somewhere just beyond sight, the universe answers with a smile in its voice. Then so it is. So as this black moon moves through your sky, listen, not with your ears, but with your field, because something ancient is speaking your name through the silence. If this message stirred something deep inside you, if you felt the resonance, the hum, the remembrance, then you are already walking through the portal. Tell me in the comments below, what signs or sensations have been visiting you lately? Have you felt the ringing, the dreams, the magnetic pull towards stillness? I read every story because your story is part of the collective awakening. And if you're ready to walk this next phase with awareness, breathe with me now. One slow inhale, one soft exhale, and type below, I choose now. That simple phrase seals your frequency into motion. Stay grounded, stay luminous, and remember, the moon doesn't just rise above you, it rises through you. Until next time, stay in the light between shadows.